All right, Shalom, Akim. All praises goes to Yahweh, 𐤁𤋅𤐔𐅅, 𝐁𝐿. The bonus goes to the apostles and elders of the great millstone that have taught us the truth of the Holy Scriptures. Much love and peace and blessings goes out to all you hopeful elect brothers that are teaching the word of Yahweh, 𝐁𝐿. So this is going to be a lesson, and this is going to be an episode of Precepts by 𝐤𝐁𝐋𤔅, which means precepts in the holy tongue, the 𝐤𝐁𝐋𤔅, and which is Hebrew. That's our language, as being Hebrew Israelites, because that is the language of the forefathers of you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans out there. And it's a part of us coming back to our customs. Part of a huge part of a people's identity is their language. So why not get into it if we have it? And we do have the holy tongue. It's been restored. And the most important thing about the holy tongue, which we do have, is we have the proper names of the Heavenly Father and His Son, Yahweh, 𤐁𝐿. So with that being said, in this episode, I'm going to do a quick read through of Genesis 1:1 in Hebrew and kind of break down each word so to get some understanding of what it's saying. So first I'm going to read this in English. And by the way, this is like a continuation of a series I had going on my first channel, which deleted like early in 2020. I had that channel for a number of years. I had all kind of videos on there. And I hadn't really gotten into some of the other type of topics I was doing on the channels I had made since then. But I want to kind of getting back into it in the motion, starting with this, because it's good to get understanding in our language, like I mentioned. So this is Genesis 1:1. It says, "In the beginning, the Most High, or I should say, God created the heaven and the earth." So let's read that again. Genesis 1 and verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. See, so this is something that's highly contested in a few different realms in our world. Because, I should say this is something that's contested in American society. Because here in America, they try to push the spirit that, or I should say the doctrine that, they don't know conclusively how the earth was created, and they push the Big Bang Theory and evolution. But the Bible itself tells you of the beginnings of this earth, and it is that the Elohim, God, when it says God, it actually means the Elohim created the heavens, which is above earth, and the earth itself. So when He created the heavens, He created the stars, the sun, the moon, the different elements that make up the stars and the moon, because the physical material came from the elements, came from things that you can't see. Like, you can't see the elements that make up a wooden stool, but there are elements in there. And from those elements came everything physical, because the Elohim, which is Yahweh and the elect, right, we received the blueprints from the Heavenly Father, which is the instruction to be able to make everything you see. And so let's read that in Hebrew. So I'm starting from here. I'm gonna zoom in so you brothers can see where I'm starting from. This character Ba. So it says Bara Ashiaf, Bara Alahayim, Af Hashemayim, Wa'af Ha'arataza. So what this means is Bara Ashiaf means in the headings, or in the beginnings. The headings represents beginnings because the beginning of your body is your head, right? Usually when you're a baby, you come out head first, right? So that's the beginning. So what it's basically setting up is that this was the beginnings of everything you see. Bara'ah, which is to build or create. Let's look up that word for bara'ah, to create, to cut down, to select, to feed, to choose, to create. So in other words, to create, it was through the Most High's divine will. It says Bara'ah Alahayim. So notice it doesn't say Allah, because Allah is just God, singular. It says Alahayim, right? Plural of H433, which is Alawah, and but Alahayim is let's see the outline of biblical usage. Let's see. Let's see. Right here it says the plural sense of gods are deities in general, whether true or false. So that's the context of what it's talking about, the Alahayim, the gods, the spirits, right? The first spirits created everything you see. It says, Bara'ah Alahayim Af, which the word Af is, that can't be directly translated to English because that's just an indicator. It's an indicator kind of introducing a accusative. In other words, like a noun or pronoun. Af Hashemayim, which is the heavens, because Shamayim is the heavens, right? Ha in the beginning as a prefix means the, and then Sha is of, Mayum is waters, because Yum is plural. So of the waters is another way of saying the heavens, because there are waters in the heavens. There's literally H2O in the air that you breathe. You know, there's clouds which contain massive amounts of water, which pour down water whenever it rains, you see? So that's what it talks about. But extending that thought, it applies to everything in the universe, as far as the different planets, the spaces in between, all of that. So it says, Wa'af ha'arataza. So again, ha, the, and then arataza is the word for the earth. So this is basically the crust of the earth, if you will, the ground, the soil, and the water. Because in later times, down on in this chapter, you see the Lord brought into fruition the animals and the trees and everything else. But here was firm force like mountains and so forth, you know. And the vegetation came later, you know. So, I mean, that's it. Genesis 1:1. So I will read it again. Bara'ah Bara'ashiath Bara'ah Alahayim Af Hashemayim Wa'af Ha'aratazah. Lord's will is edifying for you brothers, and shalom.